I'm so high up, I can't come down. I'm so high up, I can't come down. I'm so high up, I can't come
Kenya,
down.
what's going on? What you
I'm
think?
so high up, I can't come down.
Here with Thinking Kingdom.
I appreciate you saying that. This is Darius Dior. Welcome to Thinking Kingdom Media, where we have real conversations with real people. We share real music. And I'm just glad to have you in this space again. Question that I ask my guests when they come on is the only question I first ask.
Okay.
And I think I only missed it maybe once, but I'm not going to miss it today.
Okay.
Right? But who are you, Kenya T? Can you tell us who you are?
Who am I? That's a loaded question.
Who you loving, who you wanna be hugging. To the stage, I'm like Selena, bitty bitty bum bum, you love it. Go did it, I'm done for nothing. I'll put your ass onto something. If you ain't know it, then fuck it. Pardon my French, I like cussing.
Who am I? I'm Kenya T,
No doubt.
also known as just Kenya. I am, damn, that's real. I am walking in my purpose.
Okay.
And I am sometimes afraid of that. But I'm proud of myself.
No doubt.
That's what I'm going to give you.
That's what you're going to give me. That's what you're going to give me.
I'm a Brooklynite. I'm from New York.
No doubt. Brooklyn stand up.
We everywhere.
We everywhere.
We everywhere. You go to Mars.
Let's go.
You say Brooklyn in the house. Stay there.
So I'm Clifton Place between Bedford and Nostrand.
No, I'm St. Mark's between Ocean and New York.
Ooh.
You right there though.
You right there.
You
So
right
that
there.
abs.
That's
So
crazy.
that
That's
abs.
crazy.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's real crazy. It is.
Wow.
Wow. For me, I know that at some point we worked together.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I met you again, it felt like I was meeting you for the first time.
Right.
Right. And so I found you or discovered you at an event while you were supporting somebody, and brother Kwesi sent me your music. He was like, "Yo, I got this artist, yo, I'm about to meet him, yo, it's so dope, yo. You need to check
Shout out to
yo.
him. Shout out to
Check
Black
this
Nerd
record
Mafia.
out." I was like, "Yo, all right, cool, yo." I was like, "Man, this is a vibe, bro."
Thank you.
Then I discovered something about you when I was shooting the joint. You got bars.
Oh man.
Somebody pass me some tussin', cause I'm a sick motherfucker. But my grandmama love me. My lady's mad to the bone, but don't you think shit is funny? We got them bars that make you diddy bop like you
You got bars. Nah, like you not playing out here. So like, what's up with that? What's that? Yeah, like.
I'm a writer first.
You're a writer first.
I'm a writer first. Like, I'm from poverty, I'm from like gritty ass street.
Right.
Okay, we've been through a lot. So writing was my escape. That's how I escaped. And then I discovered one time that, damn, I like to sing too, and I like to write songs, and I like to write poetry, and I like to create stories. And so it started as a way to just escape reality, you know what I mean, at a very young age.
Yeah.
And then I would write things and people would find them and they're like, "You wrote this?" I'm like, "Yeah." So yeah, that's how it started. And it's something I was afraid of for a while, because sometimes you're just stuck in your head, you got insecurities, you don't want people to read your stuff.
For sure.
All kind of just, you an artist and you sensitive about your shit.
Come on. Talk to us about it, right.
So, yeah, it took a long time for me to get back to it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. I guess you could say that's why you're proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
And when do you think that it was the moment that you discovered that you had a gift, you had a talent, and it was powerful, and that you could use it? And if you can describe what that moment was like.
Yeah.
For you.
That was damn. So it was probably, I was like 11, I want to say.
Me too.
I was like, right? The 11, it was 11, special.
Yeah.
I was like 11, and I was living in the Bronx,
Yeah.
and we lived in the worst part of the Bronx. We was on like East Tremont. It was just bad. Like we were in the hood. But you know how you in the hood and you in poverty and all the rest of the kids, y'all just don't know. Y'all don't know y'all broke.
Right.
Y'all just enjoying each other. You don't know.
You don't know.
So I think I wrote this poem about like wanting to get out of the Bronx. And my mom's found it. And she was like, "Who, you wrote this?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." I think it was about getting out of the Bronx. It was something.
Was it
she found
did
it
you
was
have a
poem.
performance moment?
No, a performance moment, yes. But
Where
it
you
wasn't.
was like, I got a superpower.
It was, believe it or not, because I'm an artist. So by that, I dance, I sing, I write, I act, I did musical. Like I did everything as a kid. Just not only just to escape, but also because I just wanted to, once I figured out, oh my God, I love this, I have to now do everything. I'm a dancer now, I'm doing everything.
Right.
So the first time I was in high school, and I did like Janet Jackson's Pleasure Principle, and I performed on stage, and I was a quiet performer, so I would hide in my room. I didn't show my family. I didn't show, like, only my siblings knew. That was it.
Yeah.
But, like, my mom and them didn't know. And my mom came to my show and was like the lady at the Apollo, just standing there, like, "That's my baby. Oh, my God."
Yeah.
And my brother was like, "That's my sister." And
How
I was
old were
just
you at
like,
this time?
I was like 18, like 17, 18.
Performance moment.
Yeah. And it was just like, wow. Like, I love this. I love this reaction. I love connecting with people. It was definitely. But what happens is a lot of the times, especially when you're growing up and when it comes to your art, you understand it, but you got to get other people to understand it sometimes.
Sure.
People don't automatically connect with you every time. So that's what makes like what I'm doing now so special, because it took so long for me to get to a point where I was comfortable sharing my words again. You know what I mean?
Was there an event that happened or moment or season in your life that caused you to stop wanting to share?
For me, it was life. Like, you partying, you out and about, you enjoying people, you're not. You know what I mean? And I would always write because, like I said, it's an escape. But when it comes to sharing it with people, I remember one time I had an audition for Beyonce to be a dancer. This was like 2005 or something like that.
Right.
And I'm not a classically trained dancer. It's just me. Like, this is just what I do. People have seen me dance all my life, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I pick up a step like this." You know,
Sure.
I choreograph something real quick. But when I walked in, it was a bunch of women there who were classically trained, and they're doing all of these steps that I do not know.
Right.
And my everything, all my self-esteem just went just like that.
Out the door.
Out the door. Same with when I was in college, and I wrote this poem about somebody that I thought I was supposed to be with.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. And I gave it to him, and he loved it. But then I found out he was doing some wild stuff, and I was like, that was it. I can't share stuff with nobody no more. So, yeah, it took a long, long time. I didn't start sharing until 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's in those spaces where our art comes from.
That's real.
Super like low places.
You ain't never lied. I'm telling you.
You know, because it would be the only escape.
Yeah.
For me,
real.
and I know that's where the gold is.
Exactly.
You know, so like when you decided to make this, I mean, because this is the first like package of songs that I seen from you. They're white backgrounds, and they're named after sitcom characters.
Right.
Like what? Where did that? Where did that come from?
So it started with Dwayne Wayne. but that song wasn't called Dwayne Wayne. I wrote that song for somebody.
Okay.
And it's a love song. It's a love story. And it's like you're pretty much professing your love and saying, I would do whatever you need me to do for you. And it wasn't originally for Dwayne Wayne until I wrote, what was the next one? Rue.
Right.
When I heard the beat, the I'm so high up just kept coming to my mind. And I was watching Euphoria at the time. And I was like, you know what? I want to write this about her because the story is so sad. It's like, although the song is, people bop and they love it and it's such a vibe, but the words, if you really listen to it, is really sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm listening to the detail and I'm like, okay, I'm a little mesmerized because this melody is like,
Right.
right? And I'm like, I've listened to this like 5 times already and I don't even know how that happened. Let me like stop for a second because I'm like captured. Let me just listen to what's really being said here.
It's a sad song. It's a sad song, but the thing about it is I wanted to write that for Rue because I felt like Rue needed it, which was crazy. Like after watching the story, I felt like she needed it. And then I went back to Dwayne Wayne, to that song, and I was like, who do I think of when I hear this song?
Right.
And I thought of Dwayne Wayne. So from that point, I'm like, okay, I need to write about somebody else. I could just write people's stories.
Yeah.
Then came Maxine, and I'm thinking, what other shows did I like? What else did I like?
Like anything
Let me
else?
go to Moesha. Okay, I'm gonna write about Moesha, and it just started flowing and happening like that. It's crazy.
I noticed that because I'm like looking at this and I'm like, is this an album? Right? And I'm looking for the album. I'm like, wait a minute, there's another one. And there's a different one. Oh, wow.
Right.
So is this going to be packaged as an album or are you going to?
Yes.
Okay.
It's gonna be Writer's Room Volume 1.
Got you.
This is the TV version. So I have other songs. I got Shanae. I got Joan from Girlfriends. Like I got other songs.
Yo, that Shanae joint is different.
Shanae is a straight up. Shanae is for like my dad and them because my dad is a DJ, so I grew up on like house music. I grew up on just break beats. You know, he was out there when hip hop was a baby. You know?
Right.
So that song is like a dance song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this album that you released in I'm looking at your discography and I'm like, okay, there's some intentional things going on here.
Right.
Talk to me about this Me 101.
Yeah. Me 101 is Mixed Emotions 101. So it's the songs are just all in it's feelings. There's a song called Feelings. It's a song called Mind Games. It's all about being in like a situationship where you're trying to find your place. And you're trying to tell this person like, what do you want? Because it's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm enjoying this, but I have mixed emotions.
Facts.
So that's what that's about.
Got you. I mean, I'm looking at the company or the brand. It's Kinetically Unique Records. So when I see that, I know that you must be attached or connected to some people that are supporting you. Talk to me about that.
Yes, Kinetically Unique Records is me and Lady T, the Fire Sign. That's our record label.
Shout out to Lady T.
Shout out to Lady T.
She's so cold.
Man,
let's just go ahead and say
you talking about a spitter, like a straight
Right.
spitter. Okay.
For sure.
But yeah, we it's funny because we both started this journey together.
Yes.
And it happened because a homeboy of mine, shout out to Jay Sinatra, he's a rapper as well, and he hit me up and was like, look, I want you to just talk your New York spit on this song. And I was like, all right. Went to a studio on Broad River, and I was there, and they had me waiting for an hour for my appointment, and I was like,
wow,
I can't do this. Like, I was so upset. I was about to flip. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm leaving. I hit him up like, look, I can't do it because I can't record it. Lady T ended up getting a studio, And I was like, yo, let me record this at your crib.
So didn't even so
It didn't. It just happened like that. So I'm like, let me record. Can I record this at your crib?
For
And then
sure.
we just started making music. And
Wow.
was like, should we post this? Should we put this music out? Like, we just doing this. We just playing.
man.
Should we put this out? And
Come on.
started a label, then just started releasing and creating.
So kinetically unique. I have an understanding of, kinetic learning, right? Talk to me about the significance of that title and why that was chosen. I know that's important to you.
Because when it comes to how everything happened, right? It's ridiculous. It's crazy because I only knew her maybe a year before we started recording. Everything just seemed to like happen the way it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And we sat down and we were thinking of names, and we were thinking of, okay, so how can we talk about how this came together
For sure.
and put that into the name for our label. So that's how we came up with Connecticut. Because it literally, I met her a year later. We were creating music, and it's both of our passion. We've been doing it since we were little. Like, she literally got a tape when she was 11 that she recorded over a beat, spitting.
Yeah.
And I've been writing and singing since I was little too. 11, here we go, right? And it just all happened, and it just felt right. Like, it just felt right. So we were like, look, we got to do this.
My moment that I had was what happened when I was 11. But it was in I was in 6th grade. So how old am I in 6th grade? I think
About 11.
Okay, all right. I was about 11. So, and it was like my teacher said, we want you to go home, work on something, and be ready to stand up in front of the class and talk about it or do whatever it is. Well, we got to read a book. She's like, no, whatever you want to do. You just let me know, but you got to be ready to stand up in front of the class and let us know what it is that you have to say.
Wow.
And so I wrote a rap.
You did.
I wrote a rap, and I was super like fresh from New York because I had just come down here.
Oh, okay.
Because my mom had moved me down south,
Right.
and so I'm constantly listening to Life After Death.
Right.
I'm listening to Jay-Z, and I'm 11, right? And so I'm in the corner saying, "When I die, I want to go to hell because I'm up." Right? I was doing that, right? And so my biggest influences were Mace, Jay-Z, and Biggie Smalls, right? Because they just kept me in my New York space. And then Cam and Dipset did something different to me in my teen years. But we're gonna talk about that, right? But my moment was that, for me, was in 6th grade. And so I wanted to ask that because I know every artist has it.
Yeah.
And I realized that it was poetry in motion for me. And that was the second record of yours that I engaged with Lady T.
Right.
And I was like, oh, yo, who is this? Like, she's
Spit.
different. Like, I can hear something going on here, but she got the raw hip-hop MC technique down.
Right. With
That-
the cadence and everything.
the
It's crazy.
right.
It's crazy.
Right. So, like, this Poetry in Motion record, how did that happen? Because I thoroughly enjoyed that.
So a lot of the songs that we have, because we have a lot of songs together on her album, my first one as well. But the way that came together is she did her whole verse. And what I'm noticing a lot of people do with me is they'll send me a song and just say, do whatever you want to do. Like, a lot of just do it. And for me, because I'm like, this is your song. Now, I could do it the way I'm going to do it on mine.
Right.
This is your song. You got to give me some direction.
Always.
Nah, but she had the words and was just like, these are the words. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah. I noticed that you have like lots of singles and lots of these individual projects. This is going to be your second studio album.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
What was the response like for the first one?
Man. So, of course, because we have that saboteur within us, right?
Yeah, that creative grief. Can't escape
it was hard for me to initially put music like out
Okay.
because I just thinking, what are people gonna think? I'm like being real personal in this stuff.
Okay,
you know
so
what I mean?
we're real personal on this one.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
me one-on-one, I'm being real personal. Like, like I said, artist, you sensitive about your shit.
Right.
And I don't know how people are gonna think. You got to think about your parents. You got to think about everybody. Like, how they gonna respond? Some of these songs say some things,
Yeah.
But when I released that one, like, I got a lot of love, which I didn't. I'm not gonna say I didn't expect it, but low key I didn't.
Yeah.
In my head, I was just like, you know what? I'm putting it out there, and whatever happens, it happens, and that is it.
You got very self-aware, it sounds like.
Right.
So
Right.
like, did you like communicate like your deepest hurt of your life to us on this? Like,
No.
Or did you what did you?
No, because it has some moments where I'm talking about just being in a relationship where we both want to be there, but we can't. You know what I mean?
That is very confusing. So.
You trying to get me to pull out like
Nah.
all of that, and I ain't even gonna go into
I'm
all
not.
of that. I
No,
ain't
that's
gonna do all
very
that.
confusing. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I know, because I've been married for 13 years,
Mm-hmm.
so I know that everything that you're saying
Mm-hmm.
and doing right now may not be what you're gonna be feeling in the
That's
next 5
real.
minutes.
And I don't feel that way how I felt on that album no more.
Right.
I'm not in that space no more.
Right. Okay.
But
that's fair.
The album, like, you have a song called Feelings where I'm sitting in my feelings and I should tell you, but I don't know how to communicate it. So
Right.
that's pretty much what that song is like. So I'm pouring myself out on these songs in a way that I don't do because I'm a New Yorker. You know,
And we just don't do
we
that.
just don't do that. You know, we keep everything in here. We just
right
there.
here. Is it?
So
Yeah. Like I had a family meeting. My wife and my son was talking about that, and my wife was like, "Yeah, Xavier, you just don't express yourself." And you know what this dude said? Well, he don't express himself.
See?
I was like, "Nah, you know what, Xavier?
They
We're
just
gonna shut it
following.
down right now."
Following. So
But
yeah.
men talk about what they feel. You know.
It's a I had to learn to get out of that because in communication, in any relationship, whether romantically or family, it's so important. And you can't expect people to take care of you the way you want them to if you can't communicate how you want to be taken care of, or what you're feeling and what you're dealing with.
Right.
So a lot of that was just like therapy. It was just a release.
It was therapeutic.
It was therapeutic. It was just a release, and I let it go.
All for it. I know that, there's a sense of fulfillment that you get when you release an album, and when you're preparing, when you've already done the second joint, and there's this pressure to make sure that the second one is better than the first one. And now you're not in that space where you were with that project. I'm just curious to know, like, I hear the singles.
Right.
And if there was a message that you wanted us to get from communicating this, because what is that message in a nutshell, if you could even do that?
Yeah. For Writer's Room, my goal is to allow people to see things through my eyes, like how I view certain characters. So, of course, we've all watched Moesha. We've all seen Living Single. But how much have we actually sat and thought about what these characters are thinking and what they're feeling when they say certain things or they talk about it? So whether it's something fun like Max and Kyle's relationship, it still talks about how she feels about him, which she didn't do on the show. So it's trying to, like, pick those things that we may not know. When it comes to those characters. So the same with Rue, how it's just, Rue don't say any of that stuff I said. So this is like me going into Rue's mind and putting you there so that you can understand this is what Rue is feeling right now. This is what Issa is hearing in her head as she cheats on Lawrence. You know what I mean? Like, this is what's going on in her mind. So I'm pulling you into their heads, if that makes sense.
That's important to you
because for me, like I said, I'm a writer first, and a lot of the times it's hard for me to I felt like I gave so much in Me 101 of me. I didn't want to give me no more.
Okay, that's fair.
I didn't want to give me no more. So we're going to write about these other people, and I'll get back to me.
I mean, doesn't
Another
that,
time.
is it, because that requires a level of creativity.
No, it requires empathy.
Okay.
It requires a level of empathy. Like, I'm very empathetic. I could sit and watch a character and be like, I feel that. I feel what you're feeling. So let me write this so people could understand, because maybe they're not seeing this like I'm seeing it. And so that's what that is. It's still emotion. It's still empathy tied to those characters, even though it's not about me. But I'm giving you their words the way I interpreted it. So it's still coming from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your live performance was so creative.
Oh, thank you.
Just the way you put it together, it was super dope.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go and listen to this album.
Thank you.
That's on here, because I'm like, nah, this ain't the one with the song, right? So I'm just being a whole fan, right? You know, I told Tony, I was like, yo, you gonna be one of my definitely hands down favorite artists in South Carolina, right? And then I thought about, just the technicality that you use at the cipher. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, wait a minute, I gotta turn this down. We cannot use the mic.
Right.
And we turned the mic off. And
it was so much better, right? It was crazy.
Just what you was doing was very Big Pun-esque, very, you were just very skilled with your tongue. You know what I'm saying? And your the technicality that you use, only real MCs do that.
See, I appreciate that, because some of my favorite artists, two of them, Missy and Andre, taught me duality. I don't have to be in one box. I could step on this fence, and if I want to sing, I'm gonna sing. If I want to spit, I'm gonna spit. And so that's what they taught me. So I appreciate that 100%, because I don't do it often, just because I'm like,
oh man,
I
said, I don't even think they heard what she said. I don't even think they heard what she said. So I was taken aback by that. It's very rare that I get female artists on the platform. Mm-hmm. One thing that my heart is torn about is just black men and our relationship with with black women. Yeah. And just the state of it, right? Because you're a mother of a 9-year-old. Mm-hmm. What we got to do to tighten up? What you need from us, right?
That's another loaded question.
I know. I'm asking for the part of us that makes sense. Right, because we need to go ahead and just hear you say it. Right. Without bias and neutrality, coming through.
I think for what I would say, black women need to be seen, not objectified, not viewed just for what they can offer physically, because that seems to be where we are right now. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
So we need to be seen not as just a woman who has an attitude, but a woman who has an opinion. Not just as a woman who is trying to pay bills and working an independent, but a woman who wants to be able to gel and create a household, but still have her individuality, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Come on.
I think a lot of times, unfortunately, because we live in a society that is completely misogynistic, black men tend to just take that on as well, as if that's theirs, and that's not how we were. But that's the system that we're under. So in order for you to continue in this system, sometimes you conform to certain things. So now we're going to be super misogynistic to our women and tell them they can't do what I say. You know what I mean? And that's not how we are individuals. Just like you, we are human. Just like you want to do things and enjoy your life, we want to do the same. And I think a lot of the times when black women when we speak up, we're told that's a problem. When other women speak up, they're just being a little sassy. You know what I mean? It's a problem when we speak up. And what people don't realize a lot of the times is we are grown-ass women. We know what the hell we want to do. It's either you're going to respect it and love us for it, And we're at a place right now where it's just like, all right, bet. There you go. You know what I mean? We've been holding it down for too long and putting ourselves on the back burner, and it's no more. No more.
Man, that's super honest. Kenya T, I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
I told you. Stinking. So I ain't tell ya. Go ahead and focus and meditate on this greatness. If you don't hear the glory, you probably still stuck in the matrix. He said this is for me. Living revelation on your playlist. Since everybody A-listed, we probably need to pray this. The kingdom is coming. Better yet, the kingdom is here, and we the proof of purchase. And I'm not a part of no circus. We two different churches. Who you manifest in the earth with? Undermining our purposes for the blessings and the cursing. You know this is working.